All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are going to do a weed sector review looking at Tilray, CGC, High Tide, and SNDL. You know, I love calling that one Sandal, okay? I am liking this Tilray chart right here, okay? Some very, very interesting things going on. I hope you can see it before I even have to say it in a couple minutes, right? But it is all about the 8 and the 20 right now, okay? Bad things happen when you're under it. Hopefully we can get over it because hey, it wasn't that long ago we were actually able to go from bad things under to good things over, right? So I'm interested here. I believe the headline was a little more alcohol related. Yeah, there was a little bit of like I think CBD something connected to it. I think that's what it was. Maybe that a couple days ago. I'll be honest. You know, I don't really the headlines much, right? But again, you know, even if the headlines are completely alcohol related, 100% news for Tilray on alcohol, I still think that would be good for the other weed stocks because Tilly, in my opinion, is still the king of the weed stocks. Does that mean Tilly is the most fundamentally, is it the best? No. Dude, it's probably the worst. I'm actually like pretty sure they like grow garbage. Like that's actually what they're known for. And hey, end of the day, like I don't care about any of that, right? Tilray is the chart that matters, and even if it's 100% alcohol based, I think it would be good for the others. I actually don't know how the others are looking. I've had a rough couple weeks, not really as focused on the market, but most of the other ones will be live. Tilly, I've had eyes on. So we'll talk about all that and more, but really quickly, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you can share it because I am not the best at doing that, okay? So let's get into it. And Tilly, all right? Before I go back into the news, that was kind of the main thing I was talking about in the opening thoughts. I'm going to start with the technicals, all right? Because the first thing I see is bad things have happened since we lost the 8 and then really immediately and really definitively confirmed. That's a bad loss. That's a horrible day after because you already start under that line. You then proceed to lose that line, and clearly wasn't that long after we lost the rest, right? So bad things happen under these two lines. Good things happen if you can start to get over them, all right? But just as you're kind of looking at this Tilray chart, right, since the day one, even like this $200 run, by the way, I don't know, like I remember this, all right? Like this is the reason why Tilly is the king. Again, does it deserve to be up here? Did it ever deserve to be this much? That's not what we're here to talk about, all right? But again, just looking at the chart, this thing is well under most of the lines than it is anything else. There are moments when it gets over them, don't get me wrong, but really even like you can kind of see it from back here. Even the red line is super easy to see because really it's under the 8 and the 20 most of the time. All right, so you can't underestimate the lines, especially when historically the stock doesn't do that well with them, all right? That said, we've had a really interesting November in terms of the 8 and the 20, okay? We hit it once, can't confirm. We hit it twice, can't confirm. We've now hit it a third time. All right, I'm a big fan of kind of saying around 4 or 5 hits is a little too much, whether it's a resistance line or a moving average up, whether it's a support line or a moving average down. You can use you can use a support so many times, you can use a resistance so many times, you can use the moving averages and hit the moving averages so many times. And roughly speaking, 4 or 5 is that number for me, right? Just what I've seen. We've now hit it. What I also like for me, if number 1 was right here, number 2 was right here, number 3 was right here, number 4 was right here, believe me, I'm not thinking the 5th one's gonna do it, right? Like, I like it when they're super close to each other too. Like, this is the first one. Damn, we lost it. Damn. Oh, wow, we're right back at it. Oh, wow, we actually held it and we're right back at it. I like this, like, 1, 2, 3 immediacy. You know what I mean? I'm happy that the 8 was actually a decent line, right? I'm not overly excited. Yeah, technically, we have been over it for 3 candles, but this one, we were under it. This one breaks both. That's not confirmation. This one gets over both. We haven't done a follow through. We haven't done a confirmation. Technically speaking, I'm as confident we're going to go down here as I am we're going to hold it. All right. What am I looking for confirmation? What's this line at? 185. We're at 183. No, let's give it a little more. Let me zoom out just to see. No, there's nothing else. There's only these two. Okay. I would love a close of 189. Okay, the top of this 11-3 candle. I'd be cool with the 187, 186. All right, that would be okay. I think that 186 might end up being a little too doji. I think we really need a 189. Look, I'm actually, as I'm saying the words, that's the answer. I think 189 is the number. Because if you can break 189, I'm setting an alert as I'm like thinking the words out loud. I actually want to know if we get to 189. After that line, I'm going to delete the line, but just to see it, right? The only reason I drew this one is because of these 3 candles right here, all right? Oh, that's not true. There was also the bottom of this. Oh, okay, this $2 is at least a real line. Nonetheless, I'm actually okay with that. So, sorry, zoomed in too much. From here to here is a solid 10%. All right, because move the decimal over, 18 cents. We're basically going 30 cents up, actually. So that's actually a 15% move. That's not too shabby right there. It's obviously better than what I was expecting. I did just realize it was also the bottom of this. But as I'm looking at it, I'm assuming, and yeah, look, there's a gap right there. All right, like this is a green, 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 green. In the middle of a red, 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 and not that significant a 3 candle line, right? So I think this 2 will be something. Obviously, you can see it. The 50 is coming down a little aggressively now, right? So I think really in the next, this one's Monday, to maybe by Wednesday, it's going to be down to $2 anyway. So I think this $2 line that I drew will eventually become that 50 moving average line. I would not mind going from a $1.90 all the way up to 220. It's not quite 15% as I'm doing the math in my head as well, but yeah, look, MACD's trying, it's doing a divergence at least, right? That's not bad. Divergence just means the 2 lines are going away from each other, and we like the green going away from the red, right? RSI is at a pretty healthy 55. It wasn't that long ago. We were actually on the higher side of it. So we were up here, kind of come back down here. Hopefully we can actually go back up, right? Because even if we only go to this like 70-ish number, right? Like this line right here, hey, 55 to 70 ain't bad. You know what I mean? So I think there's a decent reason to put a $2 target on this, all right? Again, is it substantial gains? It's not, right? But ideally, if we can get to that $2, if we can get over the 50 moving average, hopefully it'll make that next run to 225. Because again, I see this one kind of coming down a little bit. This one's staying pretty parallel. Like this 220 line is the money line. All right. I don't know if we're going to break 220. I'm not 100% sure. I think I would lean on we will not, but we'll see what happens between the candles here and there, right? But if Tilray can get over 220, I think it could be a really fast run up to 3 whatever, because yeah, that's just going to be nothing but green, 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 red, red, red beautifulness. You know what I mean? So what's the weekly at? Let's take a look. Oh, I said I was going to delete that line. We don't need this 190 line. We talked about that, but we don't need it. What's the weekly looking like? Ooh, yeah, right there. What's that right there going to be? Again, 230, right? Like 230, give or take, is where these 2 lines are going to meet, right? I'm just kind of putting it right in the middle and taking a quick little guess. Maybe it'll meet a little higher, a little lower, whatever, right? You know, I'm not here for perfect. We're also still actually under the 8, and that 8 was around that 190, 189 line that we just had, right? So, yeah, I think getting to the 8 is going to be a little interesting. I think getting over it. Also, this weekly, kind of, again, red, 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 green, green, green. I'm hoping the $2 line isn't too strong a line. It can actually break with a nice divergence and with hopefully some volume. Look, the last couple days of volume have been nice, but not good enough to break the 50-day average, right? We need good green candles over the lines to start breaking these lines. That's definitely something I believe. Volume is king. You know, as much as I believe Tilly is the king of the weed sector, I know volume is the king. You know what I mean? So one more time, I'm going to end it with this. I am about to talk about 3 other weed stocks. I don't care if Tilray goes up on 100% alcohol related only news. It will be, it should be, let's not be so definitive because I have no crystal ball, right? I could be very, very, very wrong, but I think it should be good for the following stocks I'm going to cover, all right? So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, let's get into CGC. This is a... Oof, man, this is not a good chart. That's at least the easiest thing to say. In a lot of ways, this could be so much worse, all right? And I think there's some value to that, all right? Because the first thing that I know about CGC, it's easier to see it on the weekly, there's nothing below this 41 line. This is all-time low support, this 41 cents, all right? So it is very, very, very important. Sorry, I zoomed into it. Very, very important we do not lose this line. And look, we've been below all 5 moving averages for a bit. I'm surprised we didn't lose this line and go all the way down. I'm surprised we didn't lose this line and go all the way down. I'm surprised we didn't lose this line and go all the way down. I'm a little surprised we're holding horizontally. I can't even pretend. You know, bad things happen under all 5 moving averages. Generally, that means lose all 5 and die. This thing's lost all 5, but is trying to hold on for dear life. You know what I mean? And hey, in some ways, I guess that's a good thing. It's obviously better than falling and dying, right? But we are kind of at the mercy of the 8 and the 20. And sadly, it is still in a downward slope. It's obviously not in a horribly worse downward slope, but you know, we're struggling to get over those, and more than anything, you can see it is this 100 moving average line. The 100 is no joke. The 100 is the second strongest line in terms of, you know, all the way ups, right? So it makes sense. What is this 59-cent line? Yeah, I mean, that's also a really important line. It's that doji, the top of that candle, not quite 50%, not quite 50%, almost hits that. Like, that's an important line. It actually is. I was almost going to delete it, but because I was going to delete it because really that 100 is pretty much staying there, right? But yeah, even if the 100 was to slip below it, that's an important 59 line for sure. Again, I think I'm going to go back to what I said with Tilray. Tilray is making a somewhat of a move. It still needs to do a little better for me to get a little more excited, but Tilray is making a move on seemingly alcohol-related news. I know cannabis growth has absolutely nothing to do with is 100% weed stock, but if Tilly does well, I do believe that CGC does well too, all right? So there are gardeners outside my place. I apologize. And I think a good little, like, gardener grass joke, something I can make, but I'm not quite as quick as I normally am, all right? But yeah, overall, I don't like this chart. I'm seeing a MACD in the negative and just kind of staying flat. I'm seeing just, we were down here, we're now back up here. Like, I wish we were up here, then came back. Like I saw, like, I don't know, I'm not liking this RSI. I don't know how else better to say it. And really, this is bad volume. For now, almost an entire 2-month, 3-month window, from basically late September all the way to basically late November, we've had horrible volume where almost none of the days are over the 50-day average, where literally the majority is sell days where no one's holding. You know what I mean? Like, this day tries to get near the white line. It was a 51 million volume share, but the average was 59, right? Like, we actually missed it by a little bit more than 10%, right? Looks like about 15%. A little more than 15% because I need more than 7, right? So, yeah, it's volume is an issue, and moving averages is an issue, and it's hard to believe. Tilly is a little easier to believe than this one for sure. Look, we're under them all on the weekly. I don't like that. You know I don't like that on the daily. The fifth one's up there, right? I'm just zooming out to show you. But yeah, we're under all five. I'm surprised we're not going below that 41, but hey, I'm glad. I'm saying it again. This is one where I'm glad we're at least going horizontal than going as down like we should. Because again, break all five up and fly, lose all five and die is how it goes. And we're not quite dying here just yet. So let's move into SNDL. Oh wow, a nearly identical chart to CGC. So I used to say that SNDL and Tilray had nearly identical charts, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I hadn't looked at these before, or I don't have any reason to look at them. I'm not really in any of these, right? But not quite as identical, I guess. I just kind of saw the cluster right here. The cluster right here, and yeah, this is another one where, if I'm not mistaken, this one's not all-time low. It's a really big gap down. There's something below. Oh no, it's not. That is also all-time low. So again, I mean, it's yeah, we hit it right here. We were able to hold this one. This one's at least got a little bit of an uptrend. I'm not going to draw it because I don't think it's that. Listen, sorry to crack my knuckles right there. This stock is all about this 168 line. If we can get into 170, that's the only reason why I would touch this thing. Those three lines, the 100, the 200, and the 50, these three are each a very, very hard boss in any video game. Like, the first thing is you got to get these two on your side, right? Like, get these two on your side. You now have a team. You can go beat the first boss. Hopefully you can beat the next boss. Hopefully you beat the last boss, and now you beat the game, and you're just watching the credits as it goes up, 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 right? When these three are this tight, oh man, that's the Hoover Dam. There is no amount of water pressure that's breaking that Hoover Dam, right? So that's tough to break. It does look like the 200 is going to be coming down. It does look like the 50 is coming down. So hey, maybe it's the 100 that stays here and the rest come down, and hopefully that helps break up that three cluster right there. But that's probably the worst cluster of three you can get. Like, obviously, like, the lines are jumbled in so many different arrangements, right? You never, like, this is a cluster of those two. Like, I don't have a good example here, right? But yeah, when it's those three you got to break, that's a real rough thing, especially when they're super tight. So not a lot of different comments than CGC, actually. I think that's all I got here on SNDL. Let's move into, oops, I keep doing that, actually. Chubby fingers. Let's come into high. Damn. Damn. Sorry, I'm just kind of sitting here and processing it. Yeah, this one's the one that's not all-time lows. It's that hardcore gap down. Oh man, it was not that long ago. It was literally right here on September 14th. And the recovery from the 14th, where I started talking about, it seemed like the market was starting to believe in the high tide numbers. That doji, again, there were people that started to believe we were ready to go as high as 216 and start like climbing the twos, right? Oh, this is so sad. Like, when you lose the 8 and then you lose the 20, and then the gap from the 20 all the way, like, right? Like, break the 8, go to the 20, break the 20, go to the 50, lose the 8, go to the 20, lose the 20, go to the 50. And when you lose the 20 and your 50's all the way down here, that alone's a rough one. From there, lose the 50, go to the 100, lose the 100, go to the 200, try so hard to hold it. And now this is bad, because now we're like not even close to the, like, oh man, like, I can't even get my thoughts. This is so not what I was expecting to see, because it looks like this is starting again, where the 8 and the 20 start to separate badly, and you get this like fat gap between them, and like, can't get over the 8, can't get over the 8, can't get over the 8. 8 keeps coming exponentially down as the 20 is not coming down fast enough. And this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, CGC couldn't do it. couldn't get over that line. SNDL couldn't get over that. Oh, it did. Sandal was actually able to. High tides, Friday volume is horrible. That's a horrible, horrible one because it's been months since we've ever broken that 50-day average, that white line right there. That was a violent break of it on a violently bad day. I know it's only 4%, but that's a real bad candle. It is, because you can see how strong this one line is. Look how long we go horizontal. We're literally horizontal for 7 months. That's a strong line. We've now lost it pretty violently, and the problem also becomes, look, the volume down here is not even comparable to any of this. Like on this day right here, what was the volume? It was 7,000 shares, right? Like, oof, man, if we lose these, like we are at the real, we're like, to me, 107 is the real all-time low number because that happens during some real volume number tradings, all right? We cannot lose these two lines. My issue is RSI has been so low. Oh, okay, not as low as I thought. I thought that was going to be single digits. Hopefully RSI is low enough to maybe come back up and recover a little bit. The thing is, though, you go away from the 8, you come to the 8. You go away from the 8, maybe we'll come to the 8, but then, you know, maybe we'll break the 8 a little bit and go to the 20. But yeah, it's hard to believe we're ever going to, not ever, that's a really, sorry, but it's hard. Oh, man, like this is what I'm kind of expecting over the next 2 months. Actually on high tide, this is bad, and you can see that actually happens right here, right when we lose all 5 moving averages, and that's seemingly what happens here when we lose. And look, that's actually where we've been sitting, where we just fall from the 8, go to the 8, fall from the 8, we're actually able to, but can't get over the 20, fall from the 8, get over the, you know, like 8 and the 20 are just going, making that little fat gap, getting close to each other, making that fat little gap. Like that's it's a rough place to trade because again, fat gap, get close, fat cap, get, you know, a little bit, but then right back to it, and it's high tide needs another good earnings. When was this one? September, October, November. I don't know if there's something coming up next month, maybe the month after that, but man, this thing needs some news quick. This thing cannot go below 107. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, you know it. Hey, thank you.